All right, we are back with a new standard deck. Wizards is trying to save standard, and I will also try to save standard. Uh, got some new deck ideas. So we have Kuldotha. Izzet Kuldotha, named after Kuldotha Red, which is basically this card here, Gleeful Demolition. Uh, you get to hit an artifact. If it's your artifact, get 3/1/1 goblins, so it's slightly better since the sacrifice is not part of the casting cost. And so, what do we do to build around it? Let's find out. So we have Third Path Iconoclast, which conveniently makes soldier tokens that are also artifacts. And then we have Eater of Virtue, which is a bone splitter on steroids. Most of the creatures in the deck, it will get the haste function, um, but it's might be relevant, might be not. And your creatures get bigger. And then also we have what else makes artifacts? Why, of course, it's the Valduran Epicure. Also gives you some card draw late in the game if you run out of gas to get you something relevant. And so that's all we have for artifacts. Seems not a whole lot, so we're running 3 copies. And then what you do is you go wide, flood the board with tokens, and hope you get there. So to trigger our Third Path Iconoclast, we have our 1-drop spell, so Fading Hope, bounce something, and scry, get something relevant. The Gleeful Demolition will also trigger that. Witness Protection, get rid of those shield reds and other big creatures that are scary. Voltage Surge, a very good removal spell, especially if you have an artifact, to get the 4 damage in. And then we have our Swift Spear, which is a nice way to just do a lot of damage for no good reason. And then we're also running Squee, Dubious Monarch, more part of the token strategy, and comes back from the graveyard and keeps attacking, so not terrible. We have Imadane's Recruiter, which is our Bushwhacker type effect. Not really caring about the adventure since we're not running white, we're just making our creatures hasty and bigger. And then we also have Jaya, Fiery Negotiator, a planeswalker that lets you crank up to make tokens with prowess, also a removal spell for attackers, which is what we want to do because we usually want to flood the board with tokens, so can knock blockers out, can also -1 to play a card off the top 2 cards of your deck. -8, what does that even do? I guess if that goes off, you're probably winning the game. Then we have Shivan Devastator as a one of just a fireball that flies. Um, and yeah, our land base, of course, is red and blue lands. And then we have 1 Otawara, 1 Sokenzan, because sometimes if you run 2, you draw them and then you lose. All right, sideboard is we have Spell Pierce against those annoying control decks, or that the decks that run board wipes. So you say Spell Pierce you, and then I kill you. We have Artifact Graveyard Removal in the form of Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Why the heck not? We have 1 of +2 Unlicensed Curse. We're trying out Urabrask's Forge against control decks as a way to just have something that is a threat unless it's dealt with. Trying out Surgical Spellbomb against those mid-range decks that lets you draw a card after you bounce a creature. And also it is a target for Kuldotha or your other spells that want to sacrifice artifacts. Scalding Viper is another way to play the tempo game. So you keep your opponent's threats off the field while you keep putting little creatures on the field, and then also incidental damage on the other half when it's in play. We have Teferi, Temporal Pilgrim as a one of, like if this hits the field, it's probably a good time for you with instant control, as they're trying to survive long enough to stabilize. Also draws you cards, also creates tokens. And then lastly, Blue Sun's Zenith for decks that have creatures. I think the point of this is usually against Esper, they have tokens, so having a quick way to get their tokens off the field is good. You can also take some high mana costed 3, 4, 5 drops late game If it's what they're trying to use to stabilize, you say, no, it's mine, and then I kill you. All right. Um, the deck has been fun. Don't know if it's there yet, but it's something different, something new, and I want to share it with you. Let's be friends. All right. Thanks for watching and have a good day.